Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys, back in today's video with another Marvel Legends action figure review, and today we're looking at the Punisher War Journal 2-pack featuring Punisher and Bushwacker. Here's a look at the side art, looking great. Oh yeah, I love the back of the box, I love what they're doing here. A rogue assassin known as Bushwacker is on a mission to eliminate all mutants when he clashes with the crime-fighting vigilante Punisher. Yeah, this 2-pack is already looking like it's a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into the review. The Punisher, Frank Castle, made his debut in The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 129 in February of 1974. An ex-Marine turned vigilante after the loss of his family at the hands of organized crime, Frank stops at nothing to put his foes in the ground. Bushwacker, on the other hand, made his debut in Daredevil issue number 249 in December of 1987. He has a cybernetic arm that can transform into a variety of firearms. His face was burned after Wolverine doused him in gasoline, which caused Bushwacker to burst into flames after he opened fire. These two would clash in Punisher War Journal issues number 12 and 13 in 1989. Let's kick it off with the sculpt and the paint app, starting with these legs. These are reused from the Luke Cage Netflix figure, and yeah, you could tell because the pin joints right there. I will say though, the sculpt though is really good. It is like live action, so of course it's going to be really well done. You can see some treads at the bottom of the feet right here. Lovely touch. And the boots are a nice shiny black color, and you go up the pants and you can just see it's a really good sculpt. You know, you have some seam lines down the center right here and on the other side as well, some wrinkles, and that denim texture looks great. The pockets on the back too. The belt is very smooth. It does convey like a leathery texture, however, so that's cool. And it has a little buckle in the middle that's painted silver. Let's move up to the torso, and I believe this is all brand new. Aside from these shoulders, I kind of want to say these are from that Punisher Legendary Riders figure, maybe? But the torso definitely feels like it is brand new. I haven't seen this piece before. Love the tightness of it and the musculature, but I like the collar shooting out. Again, very late 80s feel to this sculpt. And you can see the shirt underneath. Not a completely white color, but like it's sort of dirtied up. And then you move on to the sleeves, and they don't go all the way down. And the skin tone is painted on. A little bit of a paint splotch right there. The skin tone doesn't match up with the arm perfectly, but it is very close and it's very hard to notice. Pinless arms looks great. Yeah, and the joints are the same color. That's a relief. You move down to the hands and you have these biker gloves. And I want to say these hands are brand new. Then we move up to the head, and man, oh man, does this look gnarly. I'm going to sound like a broken record, because for like the millionth time this year, I have to say the Marvel Legends team have been on top of their game when it comes to the head sculpts. Like, look how clean this looks. Man, and that dude, the burns look super gnarly, super realistic, and just the expression itself, just so much emotion in it, so much life behind it. And I especially love that little Jedi braid going down. The little rat tail braid going across the shoulder. I think it is sculpted well. And the rest of the hair, yeah, this is just a super funny figure. But also, man, does it look great. For accessories, he comes with his 2 biker gloves. And he comes with this little pistol piece hand thingy. Very reminiscent of his debut issue in Daredevil, where he shoots the bottle out of like a homeless person's hand. Just a super funny looking piece. And with that hole at the end, you're able to plug in some effects like this shooting one. You can also put like the smoke in there. He also comes with this other weapon piece, and man, does it look disgustingly awesome. Disgusting as in like the thing is gross. It has veins everywhere. It kind of looks like phallic, but at the same time it is awesome because you are able to plug in your standard Hasbro blast effect in there, and I'm guessing you could do the same for all the other holes. This is a really nasty looking piece, but man, is it awesome. But going over articulation, the head is able to move up this much, look down that much. He does have some pivot and side to side movement. The arm is only able to move up this much. It does have rotation and bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and your standard wrist hinge allowing his hand to move up, down, all the way around. And it's the same for the gun shooting hand. It has your standard wrist hinge, being able to move up, down, all the way around. His heavy cannon arm doesn't have a hinge, but it is able to rotate on that wrist. With his ab crunch, he's able to bend this far back, this far forward. He has a waist swivel, and his leg is able to kick up this much, go out to the side that much, and go back, not really at all. He has upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee that's able to bend back this much, and his foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has. And now on to the size comparisons. Here is Bushwacker next to the 3-pack Daredevil and VHS 2-pack Daredevil, Love Triangle Wolverine and VHS 2-pack Spider-Man, Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Kingpin and Jigsaw, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Gary and CT4279, Grogu and Sad Freakin' Rollins, and finally, Jeff the Landshark and Spider Ham. Now let's look at the sculpt and the paint apps for the Punisher. There's not really a whole lot of paint apps on this figure. It is mostly black, but there is a few sculpting details all throughout it. Like the boots right here are all smooth. It's like one continuous piece, but down here you can see some creases by the toes, and there's a heel right there as well. I really love the musculature on display here. I think it is perfect for Frank Castle. His big old tree trunks of legs. And right here, you also have his holster. There's some buckles holding it together. And there it is on the side right there. Now moving up to the belt piece, and you have his iconic logo. And I can't really recall if this was in War Journal. Usually the eyes are kind of like flipped upside down, so it looks like angry. Don't know how I feel about this logo. I kind of want to like paint it just to look more like it usually does. At the same time, I don't really take issue with it. I think it looks fine. What isn't fine, however, ooh, yeah, that really hurts. There's some paint app issues all throughout this torso. You can see up here. Once you lift this piece, like, man, it's just missing paint all throughout. I did send a message over to Hasbro as I got this pack on Hasbro Pulse, and they are sending out a replacement for me. So like, a huge shout out to them. A little disappointing that, sorry, I got a little carried away. Let's look at the belt piece. You can see some chips right there in the paint. Those are not on purpose. Those are meant to be there. Love the damage. And ooh, man, let's count it off. 1 pouch, 2 pouch, 3 pouch, 4 pouch, 5 pouch, 6 pouch, 7 pouch, 8 pouch, 9 pouch, 10 pouch, 11 pouch, 12 pouch, 12 pouches. Yeah, I love pouches. I love pouches so much, and we got 12 of them. Oh, that was a really disgusting noise. I am terribly sorry. And we have this harness piece with some shotgun shells or slugs. I'm not a gun guy, sorry. In the middle, in the center right here, connecting these two straps together, and that has a little harness for like tightening right there, and it continues onto the back right here. Man, and I just love the musculature of this body. I believe this is brand new. Continuing down the arms, don't know if this is reused from like the Vulcan figure. I think it's a little bigger, so I'm going to say it's not. I'm just confused by this little piece right here for the glove. Not entirely a classic looking Punisher. He doesn't have the white gloves, white boots, but still, I think it is pretty good. Now going over the accessories, and first up is this head sculpt with the headband. And why do they keep giving Punisher headbands? More often than not, when I think of Frank Castle, I think of him without this headband, but I don't know. It looks cool, looks great. I can see why they wanted to include this because, I mean, Punisher with a headband, why not? So you can see that 5 o'clock shadow. Even behind this neutral expression, you could just see his anger. I love the lower jaw protruding out just a bit more than the upper part. I think that looks fantastic. And the hair too. It looks like my hair, honestly. And he comes with one other head, a yelling expression, and dude, this one is just absolutely insane. Love all the muscles just scrunching up at the forehead, and those eyes, those beady little eyes, and his eyebrows just furrowed. Man, it looks great. And man, oh man, that mouth, man, what an intensity from it. I absolutely love this. Oh, the teeth, you could just see them like individually painted. The lower teeth as well, my God. And that tongue back there too. Wish there was a tiny bit more depth in the mouth, maybe like darker pink around that tongue. But man, oh man, it just looks amazing as is. And this head sculpt also has that 5 o'clock shadow, and the hair is even more crazy. No headband. Absolutely love it. He also comes with 2 fisted hands. He also comes with a pointing hand and a wide open hand, but you don't get these 2 hands for the other arms. This head sculpt perfectly encapsulates how I feel about that. He also comes with 2 trigger gripping hands, which are useful for all of his weapons. First up is this handgun. Love the texturing on the grip and on the barrel too. That fits really snugly in his hand and can also be stored in this holster on the side. He also comes with this gun. Again, I'm not really a gun guy, so I don't know the name of this. It's not exactly a snug fit. It's a little loose in that hand, but it won't fall off. I wish there was a peg hole at the end of the barrel just so you could plug some effects into it. Next up is another gun. I think this is an Uzi, maybe. Really awesome looking piece. Just so much sculpted detail in it. Again, wish there was a hole at the end of the barrel just so you could plug some effects into it. And you also have this thingy. Another gun. I don't know the name of it. Sorry. This one does have a peg hole at the end of it, so you can plug some effects into it. It also comes with a grenade. I love the sculpt of this. Kind of hard to get him to hold it though, unless you have it like resting on top of the wide open hand. But even then, it might fall off. It's going to take some tinkering to get him to hold this piece. A really, really tiny explosion effect, and I actually really like this. This is like a lore accurate grenade blast. Instead of those big old fireballs you see in the movies and TV, they really don't do that. Like, in fact, like there shouldn't be any like fire around this. It should just be the shrapnel shooting off everywhere. Maybe like a big dust cloud, perhaps. You could see the sculpted detail of that cloud right there. On this side, it is painted a brighter yellow color. It just gives it so much more depth, and you can see all the shrapnel from that grenade painted the same color as it, just shooting off. Yeah, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful touch. For articulation, his head is able to move up this much, look down that much. He has a tiny bit of pivot and some side-to-side movement. His arm is able to move up this much. It's able to go back this much and go forward that much. He has rotation right there at the shoulder and some bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and your standard wrist hinge allowing his hand to move up, down, all the way around. With the combination of that diaphragm joint and lower ab crunch, he's able to bend back this much and move forward that much. He has some pivot right there at the diaphragm, some side-to-side movement. His leg is able to kick up this much. It's able to go out to the side that much and go back, not really at all. He has upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee that bends back this much. He has upper calf rotation, and his foot is able to move this far down, this far up. And now moving on to the size comparisons, here we have the new Punisher next to the Walgreens exclusive Punisher. This has been the one holding it down on the display for me for almost a whole decade now. So yeah, I welcome this brand new one. And I'm kind of thinking he might just replace this guy, but I'm still going to keep him on standby. I love this version so much. And in case you were wondering, here is the first head sculpt on the old body and the second head sculpt on the old body. And wowzers, this actually looks phenomenal. I think I might keep this head on this body. Wow. Moving on, here we have Punisher next to the 3-pack Daredevil and VHS 2-pack Daredevil. Love Triangle Wolverine and VHS 2-pack Spider-Man, Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Kingpin and Jigsaw, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Gary and CT-4279, Grogu and Sad Freakin' Rollins, and finally Jeff the Landshark and Spider-Ham. Alright, time for my final ratings and my overall thoughts for both figures. First up, Bushwacker. I'm going to give him a final rating of 8 out of 10. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. This figure did pleasantly surprise me. I really enjoy posing him around, and the sculpt overall is really good despite all the reuse. And that head sculpt, my god, does it look amazing. And just the play features for the cannon and the gun hand are just super, super fun. If I had one complaint, I would have liked some extra articulation, maybe a butterfly shoulder joint, and some effects for the hands, just because the set doesn't come with them. You have to have them beforehand, like the one I have plugged in right now. That would have made the figure perfect, but for me, this is an 8 out of 10. And now let's go over the Punisher. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. He comes with a ton of wonderful accessories. Those head sculpts are incredibly well done. And the articulation and mold are both fantastic. I really hope they keep reusing this mold down the line because, my God, it is just such an amazing body. And all the extra sculpted bits like the harness and the belt look fantastic as well. That holster on the side of his leg too. But you know, the mismatching set of hands. My God, does it annoy me to the ends of the earth. And also, this design just really isn't it for me. I prefer the white gloves, the angry skull, and the white boots. I don't know. It's just my personal preference, but I will say this Punisher figure does its job really well. And for that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, that'll do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment down below what you would rate these figures on a scale of 1 to 10. I would love to see your guys' opinions. And while you're at it, please like and subscribe and share with a friend. Anything you do that'll support the channel will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye. I think that would look amazing. And then we move up to the head sculpt. Why is there just a bunch of stuff? What is that? It's able to go back this much and go back and blah, 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 blah.